Take a vagabond, dream of a vagabond.
Hi, this is Lisa. This is Mark. We're the Vagabond Dreamers. We're sitting here outside of our little hotel in Lido di Jesolo, which is right outside of Venice, Italy. And we want to talk about our time that we just spent in Sicily. Which, when we talk about time, one of the things we don't know when we're traveling is how much time do you need for each area that you're in. And we didn't have enough time at all in Sicily. Not at all. I think we had 4 full days, 2 half days. We needed another month. What do you think?
I guess that means we're going back sometime.
I think this is a country that we already have put on our list for going back.
From my standpoint, it's a place of personal history. Is my family, my mother's side, the family's from there. It also has a complete spectrum of Western history. The Phoenicians founded it, and it played a central role in World War II as well. And I'll touch on some of that as we move through some of the places we went to.
We started out, home base for us in Sicily was Catania, which is the 2nd largest city in Sicily. And it worked out really well for us. It wasn't our favorite city, but we were 5-minute walk maximum from Catania Market Square. I don't know if there's a name for it officially, but it was a wonderful meeting place for drinks, and there was historical monuments there, and there was just a wild array of different eateries.
And a fish market every day except Sunday.
Every day.
Just amazing fish of every kind, and meat and vegetables.
I didn't know oysters squirted when they were captured, but we have a little bit of that. That was amazing. And the fish and the meat and the cheese and the vegetables, and it was just a lively, lively place to have our home base.
We got out of Catania and headed up the coast to Messina, which I had a lot of interest in because that was the launching spot for the Crusades, coming in from northern and western Europe and heading over to the Middle East. In fact, there's a castle there that we didn't even get all the way up to, where Richard Lionheart stayed on his famous crusade. But Messina itself, really remarkable town. There's a big university there. I think it's most famous for its clock tower.
Clock tower was amazing.
At noon every day, it goes on for this 12-minute show. That video is playing in the background here of all these characters that come out and move around. People gather at the base of it to watch. It's just a gorgeous city overlooking the harbor, the biggest harbor in the area, natural harbor. Really wonderful city to walk around in. Beautiful in so many ways. What about Syracuse?
Syracuse, so I was really interested to go to Syracuse because it kind of is where a lot of our money was spent in the past 5 or 6 years, and we've never even been there. So if you know, you know. Anyway, went to Syracuse and fell in love with Syracuse. Totally different city than Catania. I think Syracuse is the 3rd largest city, so Syracuse is the 3rd largest city in Sicily. Oh my goodness, it was just such a fun city to explore. We walked for a long time because parking is a problem in Italy, not just in Sicily, but everywhere in Italy there seems to be a parking issue. And that's okay, walking is great. We walked through the town, and we walked through the end of the town out onto the fort area. It has a name.
That area was really remarkable in just the way it was designed, the way it was put, the big piece of art that's at the end of that. But you're really just a block from the hustle and bustle of the market area and the food and the restaurants.
And so many different choices and shops, and it was both quaint and also very urban and very modern. And we fall in love with the place when we immediately start looking at real estate, which we did. So Syracuse was a hit. We also spent some time at the ruins in Syracuse, and that was a treat.
Well, yeah, it was a real treat.
It's history.
Greek and Roman theaters still there. They're kind of taking the ruins of the Greek theater and putting in modern benches in it, which is a little weird. And then on the Roman theater, they started putting in all this modern artwork, which confused us for a while.
We knew it wasn't the ancient ruins, but we couldn't quite figure it out, and it took us a few heads, because there were all these heads, to see that they had created a theme throughout, which was great.
And I got to see the ears of Dionysus, these caves. You got me. Just really spectacular caves that we walked through. That was really a lot of fun too. The next day we went up to Cefalu, and we'll talk a little bit about that
How
journey.
we got there. Good Lord.
I'll talk about that in a little bit. But Cefalu is a relatively small town, but the town itself, I think, was really one of my favorites.
Again, more real estate.
It sits at the base of this giant cliff called La Rocco, which you could climb. I don't know how she didn't get me to climb it, but
I didn't have the right shoes.
No,
it's always
that's
about
right.
The
It was
shoes.
you this
It's
time.
always about the shoes.
But it looks down over this town. Beautiful architecture everywhere. Crawl down into this like a cave almost, right in the middle of the city, and it was the old washroom where the women for 1,500 years would go and wash their clothes, and those bins, and the rocks are still in there. Just fabulous views and vistas. Really fun little town. Really enjoyed it.
Speaking of Cefalu, we're gonna talk also about the beaches, because Sicily has just an inordinate number of beaches that we didn't get to. Again, we're going back. We'll need more time. We did check out the Cefalu beach, and it was wonderful. Very touristy, white sand beach, easy to swim in, cold. It was quite cold, which was interesting. We also went to Letojanni beach. That was our first beach we stumbled on. I fell in love with the rocks. There's pink rocks. And
purple rocks.
Purple
green
rocks. There were so many different kinds of rocks. And it was a full rock beach, but I could have spent hours and hours there.
I believe we both fell asleep on that beach.
You did. I was
did?
rock hunting.
Oh, you were?
So,
Okay.
yeah, we fell asleep on Cefalu, though.
Oh, that's true.
We also found a beach in Syracuse, and it just didn't. Sometimes the tide washes things up, and the beach becomes something less than what we were looking for, and we didn't stay. So we traveled back up to Catania on our way home, and we stopped at a Catania beach, and that was really disappointing. But again, a beach is fun if we make it fun. We watch the boats, we watch traders, we watch the many ferries coming in and out at the Catania beach. It wasn't a beach I would want to swim.
Kind of underscore.
Did you swim?
I did.
You did. You swam. Yeah.
It just did kind of underscore, though, one of the things we've noticed here in lots of parts of Italy is litter.
Yeah.
We're coming from Michigan with the bottle bill. Michigan is known as one of the states in the United States with the least amount of litter. It was just shocking to see. And we went to the beach in Catania, and it was just strewn with litter.
Yeah.
We had to put shoes on to walk across.
It was disturbing.
Really, not great. One of the things that I wanted to go to Sicily for was to trace a little bit of my family's history. My grandmother was born in a town called Ramacca. It's in the middle of the island, and we had quite a journey to find it. We didn't use Google Maps to get there. We used the GPS in the car.
Yeah.
And it decided to take us through a cow pasture.
Not just a cow pasture. It took us through the mountains. It took us through.
It was beautiful.
We were two-tracking in this little tiny car that is not a two-tracking car. It was beautiful, but it was not where we were supposed to be. Twice we had to stop and figure out how to get out of an electric fenced area and then get back in. And I was worried that we were on this farmer's land that wasn't going to be happy with us, and we don't speak any Italian, which I'm not sure why, but we don't.
But we made it to Ramacca, and what a great little town that was. It is one of these old, it has a lot of new parts, but the old city center has the classic Italian square where there's 7 roads.
It took you back in time.
No roundabouts, no lights, just 7 roads go into the town square. And we're watching cars, people, bikes, and they all made it. Nobody crashed. We did too. We drove through it twice.
Some of the best pastries were in Ramacca.
Right,
size of your head.
Yes, and this was my family's bakery, the Di Silvestro Bakery. And so we took some pictures there and tried to talk to some folks. They were very excited. Went up to the records department, and the guy was just so incredibly helpful. Found my grandmother's birth certificate, shared a little bit of information, like what street she was born on. But we didn't have an address back in 1898. The guy didn't write down the street number. So with the help from my Aunt Connie, she had an old photo of my grandma as a girl standing in front of this house, so we had the address. We went back a different day to take pictures of it, and it was gone. It had been
33, 34, 37.
No, 35.
Oh, 35.
But while I was looking around, this guy comes up to me, and he's very suspicious and wanted to know what we're doing. And I said, I'm looking for Di Silvestro, and he kind of shakes his head. And I said, how about Barcelona? He goes, Barcelona, that's me. So I found a relative of my grandma's cousin, and he was so delighted to meet us, and it was really, really helpful.
It was lovely.
And we found a monument from, interestingly, we found two of these. We'll talk about one of them, another one in a second, from Mussolini's attempt to conquer Libya in 1923 to 25. And there was a monument in Ramacca of all the boys who were killed in that. I mean, usually when you see a war monument, it's World War I, World War II. This was from this obscure war, and one of my relatives was actually killed in that war. So it was really a great time. And then we went to the cemetery. Mm-hmm. This is not a cemetery you've ever seen in your life.
No.
There's video of it playing in the background right now. Every family has these like mausoleums, but they have carpet in there and pictures and flowers and then the bodies. I've never seen anything like it. And it underscored to me one of the great things about this trip is we just keep finding stuff that not only have
that we
never,
don't mean to find.
Right, and but we didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
It's not like we're going, oh, where is it? We didn't know. So on the way back from Ramacca, we saw this town up on the hill.
Way up on a hill.
Way up, and like it's in the middle of nowhere, literally in the middle of nowhere. On the top of this mountain is this city, and I go, we gotta go.
It's just all perched on the edge of this cliff. It's not a hill. This is like a mountain.
Right.
So we drive up, and whoa, what a delight. I mean, absolutely, first of all, the view was incredible. But it was also just, it had a university there. It just was like, poof, here's this amazing town.
Another memorial for the Mussolini's war. And it was built intentionally by the Romans to be in the center of Sicily, the exact, pretty much exact geographic center of Sicily. You can see, you can get, in modern times, you can get to every part of the island within an hour. But what a,
well, we can't.
What a great find, though, just, and just on the way home after a long day of travel.
Yeah.
But really a lot of fun.
We acknowledged on the way back from Enna, because we were starving, that we should have stopped and had food. Talk about the food, Mark.
Well, we trashed a lot of food in the Seychelles.
We feel bad, but we also bragged about the Seychelles. So
right, yeah, this is some bitch. But the food all across Sicily, for a guy like me, this was kind of a dream come true.
I don't think he's eaten more pasta and pastries. I've never seen him consume this amount of carbs in my life.
No, well, we'll see how that works out for me. But
he's still doing it. We're in Italy a long time.
Yeah, yes. But we do have to give credit where credit's due. Just remarkable food pretty much everywhere we've gone. All of this being said, our most spectacular day on the island was Mount Etna.
Oh, I love her. We had planned to go to Mount Etna in the morning, do a little bit of hiking, and then we'll go up to Taormino, which is a beautiful, beautiful beach area. And so we packed for the day, we had a cooler, we were ready to go. We got halfway up Mount Etna, and I said, there's no way we're going to a beach today. We're not even in the area of Mount Etna yet. We're at the very base, and we were just enraptured with Mount Etna. So we scrapped the beach because beaches are everywhere. Mount Etna is only in one place, and we spent the rest of the afternoon on this mountain. And that's another reason we have to go back, because she must be conquered. We went halfway up, 2,500 meters, and then we climbed more. It actually was very nerve-wracking. It was so windy, and the scree from the lava rocks is very slippery. So between the wind and the scree, it was fairly dangerous. And I
mean, as they're watching the video in the background, they're not going to think it's dangerous as you almost get blown off.
No, not at all. Yeah, and in fact, watching the video the first time that we watched it, I went, whoa. That didn't look nearly as scary, but it really was. But it was cool. It was super cool.
Well, the craziest part of the whole thing is we get down finally, and I am ready to go.
He was tired.
And Lisa sees this mountain.
It's a crater.
A crater. Yeah, it's a crater. And she said, let's go up the crater. I look at this thing and go, I'm not going up that. And so she goes,
I was jonesing, man. No, I was like, okay, fine.
And then she takes off. She goes, I'll be back in 45 minutes. I go, okay.
40.
40.
Yep.
Yeah. So I sat in the car and read baseball articles, and she takes off. And she literally starts running up the side of this mountain.
I had to beat my 40 minutes. I didn't know how long it was going to take me. I had no idea.
People were laughing that I was standing next to him, filming her heading up this mountain. But she did it in what, like
17 minutes up and down. And I'm sure I was hysterical, but to watch because nobody else was running it. But it was a goal, and it was cool. And I videoed it, so I have the proof. But that was fun.
It was really spectacular, and you know, I keep wondering about Mount Etna, and we read that 4 different times in history Catania has been completely
Wiped
leveled.
out.
And I just want to know, why do they keep building it back there? Because it's going to happen again.
Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, look, they keep rebuilding.
So you better climb it before it does.
Yeah, here we go. We loved it.
This is our last day here in Sicily. Appropriately, we're in the town square of Ramacca, which is the hometown of my grandmother. We've had a tremendous time here in Sicily. I think mostly we're just upset that we don't have more time here.
We'll be back.
This is definitely a place that we really enjoyed, like just about every minute of it. We're heading off now to Venice. Hard to believe it could beat this. This is Lisa. I'm Mark. We're the Vagabond Dreamers.
Take a vagabond dream of vagabond fool. I ain't too proud to beg, but I'm playing it cool. I come to the time.
I just got it, because then we're going to transition to the walk away.